Your story begins within the cold stone walls of a monastery, tucked amidst rolling hills and whispering pines. From the moment you arrived as a young novice, ink and parchment became your world, while others toiled in the fields every day as a daily task. You sat bent over candlelight, tracing letters shaped centuries before. Each stroke of your quill carried the weight of tradition, devotion, and eternity. In those early years, silence was your constant companion. The only sounds were the gentle scratching of pens and the rustle of turning pages. You learned meticulously the sacred art of copying holy manuscripts. Patience became your virtue, precision your prayer. One winter morning, a royal messenger showed up at the monastery. The king was impressed by a treatise written in your careful hand. He summoned you to his court to serve in the royal chancery. Leaving the monastery was like stepping into another world. A wonderful world filled with light, voices, and power. At court, you became the unseen architect of royal decrees and treaties. Your ink sealed devastating wars between kingdoms and ended them. Words you penned dictated taxes, marriages, and deaths. Yet, despite this influence, you remained in the background. You are a ghost among nobles, your power hidden beneath layers of parchment. Over time, you learned that ink could be sharper than any sword. Through observation, you mastered the subtleties of diplomacy and deception. Some nights, while the court slept, you copied secret letters. These messages were never meant for the public eye. The candle's flame flickered as you wondered. Were you serving truth or ambition? Despite the luxury around you, provided by your scribe's life, nostalgia for the monastery and your fellow monks grew deep inside you. You missed hearing the rhythm of the monastery's bells. You remind the peace of morning prayer in the monastery. Yet, duty held you fast. You had become indispensable. Years passed, and your hand began to tremble like a leaf. So you trained younger scribes, teaching them the same discipline that once shaped you. When your service finally ended, the king granted you a small cottage by a river. That was not far from the monastery where your journey began. There, you spent your final years writing chronicles of your time. Writing chronicles not as propaganda, but as truth. Your quill, once a tool of power, became again a vessel of peace. The traces of your hand remain in every ancient charter. You may have been silent, but through your ink, your voice endures.
Summoned to the royal feast, all eyes are on you. You're the first to eat. Because you, my unfortunate friend, are the royal food taster. It sounds noble, heroic even, but one of the worst jobs in history. If you survived, no one thanked you. If you died, no one cared. The food taster is a silent guardian, a shadow close to power. But the truth? You weren't there to dine. You were there to die first. Your job? Chew the bite, swallow the poison so the king wouldn't have to. No armor, no sword, just a spoon and a very short life expectancy. Every banquet was a minefield and every dish a deadly gamble. You weren't trained in medicine or poisons, no brief on what to watch for. You were just expected to sit, smile, and take the first bite. If you collapsed convulsing, good job. The king's life was saved. But survive? Then suspicion turns on you. Maybe you were involved. No trust, no safety. It was not a profession. It was a death sentence in disguise. If you lived, respect escaped you. You became alone, unsafe, expendable. Power breeds paranoia, and paranoia breeds rituals. It became a grim theater. The king arrives, the food's tested, and everyone watches. Some monarchs had multiple tasters per meal, meats, sweets, and wine. Why was being a royal food taster so terrible? Because you were never a person. You were a filter for death, too expendable to be valued. Every meal could be your last, and when death came, You didn't even get dessert.